In so many debates, everything has to be black or white. It's either this or it's that, very tribal, it's either got to be one thing or the other. There's no room for layers or nuance or grey areas. Now, that sometimes sounds wishy-washy. People think you're airy-fairy and wishy-washy if you're not black or white or certain about something. But yeah, just randomly, the debate discussions recently about fare dodging on public transport. Now, I'm not, of course, I'm not condoning or saying fare dodging or saying that not paying your fare for the train is okay or a good thing. Of course, it's not. Of course, it's bad. Of course, it's wrong. But like with many debates, I think sometimes people either talk about this either being a criminal thing, it's either good or bad. If somebody fare dodges, they're a bad person. They're a criminal. They're disrespectful, and they should pay. Yes, of course we should pay. Yes, of course we shouldn't fare dodge. Of course we should pay our way. But there's a layer, there's a nuance that often seems to get ignored. Now, as I said, I'm not condoning fare dodging, but there are a few other layers to this, a few nuances. What about mentioning in this discussion about people who are genuinely hard up or really broke, skint? So many people are really struggling at the moment. What if somebody wants to pay but hasn't got any money? What if they're skint? What if they need to get somewhere important but they don't have any money? What if it's a really difficult, genuinely difficult situation for them? We often forget about that. We forget about this factor of people being short of money, people being broke. I can't believe we forget about that. Of course, fare dodging is wrong, can never be condoned. We should pay our way, but we often forget this factor about people not being able to afford a train ticket, needing to get somewhere and not having enough money. So let's bring that into our discussions about public transport fare evasion, because it's something that we don't think about. We just talk about people being bad and criminal or doing the right thing. But what about the nuances in this discussion?